Ex-NYT editor Jill Abramson says she will update her book following allegations of plagiarism. The veteran journalist added that the language in question would be fixed, saying that while writing her book she tried. Abramson's statement came one day after she fiercely denied allegations of plagiarism during a Fox News interview. At the time, the plagiarism allegations were first leveled against Abramson on Wednesday by Michael Moynihan, of Vice. Abramson profiles 4 news organizations in her book, including Vice, amid a time of upheaval in journalism. On Thursday, CNN Business discovered 2 additional examples of apparent plagiarism in Abramson's book. In the first case, a second was filed earlier in Florida by a Russian internet entrepreneur, Alexei Gubarev, over claims in the dossier that he and his firms used botnets. In February, BuzzFeed was sued by a Russian internet entrepreneur Alexei Gubarev over claims in the dossier that he and his firms used botnets. 327 One of the suits against BuzzFeed Josh Gerstein, Russian. He added a vague threat that Amazon would have such. In May, after Farenthold was getting traction on his Trump Foundation expose, Trump upped the ante. In a Fox News Trump then issued a vague threat, saying that Amazon would have such. In a Fox News interview, Trump said that the Post was a toy used by Bezos for political purposes to avoid proper taxation of his main company, Amazon. There is no endnote citing Newsweek. The endnote cites. Abramson did not respond Thursday to a request for comment about the examples CNN Business found. But Abramson said in her statement Thursday that she was up. Asked about the new examples of apparent plagiarism, a spokesperson for Simon Schuster pointed CNN Business to Abramson's Thursday statement and the Companies Wednesday night statement. The Wednesday nights, a spokesperson for Harvard University, where Abramson is a senior lecturer in the Department of English, declined to comment about the plagiarism allegations on Thursday morning. Harvard has a that. In her Thursday statement, Abramson defended the book as a whole. Abramson's book first drew scrutiny in January when an unfinished galley copy was provided to various journalists in advance for review purposes. Some of the journalists at the time, she noted in a tweet that the copy which had been distributed was a draft and not the final version.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.